I don't have a fight book, but I have a kind of a target date. I'm going to try to get on the card in March or in May here in Vegas. I don't know. I don't think the headline's been announced, but that's my timeline.
Do you have an ideal opponent in mind?
I don't. Pretty much my whole division is matched at this point, and we'll see. As these fights play out, I may have a better idea of who I'll fight.
How is the injury going as far as the process and recovery?
It's great. Yeah, the rehab was it was kind of long and tedious, but I'm back. I'm training 100%, and I feel good.
When were you able to start going 100%?
It was kind of a gradual thing, easing back into it. I've probably been going about 100% as far as sparring and everything, maybe for maybe 6 weeks or so.
What's the toughest thing in recovery? Is it the mental anguish of not being able to fight, or really just going through the physical recovery?
For me, it was staying focused on on the matter at hand. Not looking at the bigger picture. If I looked at the mountain I had to climb, it was overwhelming. So just focusing on the day-to-day things was really what I had to keep my mind on.
What do you think about the landscape of the division right now with Robbie Lawler holding the crown?
It's exciting. I think there's so many guys that are. I don't know, that look so good. I think that the belt might change hands, quite a bit in the next, maybe year or so. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to get back.
Having watched the contenders fight, is there anyone who's really stood out to you over the last sort of year?
Rory. Rory looks really good. His last fights have been, pretty much flawless.
You said you have a date in mind. Do you have an ideal opponent in mind as well?
I don't. There's a lot of intriguing matchups out there for me. We'll just like I told Karen, we'll just have to see how these fights in the next couple months play out, and then probably have a better idea.
Carlos, how difficult was it for you to sit on the sidelines after watch everything that was going on with the title changing hands? I know you felt like you could have been in it.
Well, I didn't really have a choice, so I kind of just took a step back, watched, as a spectator, as a fan, and focused on what I needed to get done, which is get my rehab taken care of, and and take care of my own thing.
Is there any pros that like to recharge your battery to sit on the sidelines for a little while? Is there any pros to sitting back and watching a little bit?
Yeah, no, I think I made the best of my time off. I got a chance to work on the things that I needed to work on without focusing on a specific opponent. Yeah, it was it wasn't all bad.
Is it a different for you now though when you're going to fight as opposed to before, because you can see how things can change so quickly? Do you get hungrier now, or how has it changed you emotionally as a fighter?
I'm definitely hungry. I've been out for a year, and prior to that, I'd been really busy. I did a bunch of fights in a row, back-to-back training camps, and now not having that on my plate, I'm hungry. I'm chomping at the bit to get back in there and get back in the mix of the welterweight division.
So we're here for a Nick Diaz fight, which you had a very classic fight with him. What are your memories of that? It's something that stands out to fans so much. That whole talking, the leading up to it, the fight itself. What was that like for you?
Well, before the fight, there was a lot of change-ups. I was supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight GSP, and then I was supposed to fight GSP, and then GSP got hurt. And then, and I was getting calls on the regular from my manager, hey, you have this other fight, you're fighting this guy instead of this guy instead of this guy, and they're all huge fights, and it was kind of an emotional roller coaster. And training for him was interesting. We had to kind of change up, what I do, because he's such a, difficult style to train for. But I felt good when I went in there, and I felt like I executed my game plan well, and I didn't get the finish like I would have liked, but it went my way. And afterwards, there was a lot of controversy.
Yes.
But, that's the fight game.
How do you think he'll do against Anderson?
I think if Anderson doesn't play like he does at times, I don't think he should have a problem. I mean, his movement and his striking, especially his angles and stuff, is something that Nick Diaz really has a problem with, as you saw in our fight. But I don't count Diaz out though. I think he could give anybody problems. I mean, he's a phenomenal fighter, and and like I said, he's a tough guy to fight. He just comes forward nonstop. Takes punches to takes 10 to give you one, and you know, that's different. He's just a different guy.
Your loss to Woodley, it wasn't like a clear-cut knockout or anything like that. It was an injury because of your knee. How bitter was that, you know, losing in that way and knowing that, you know, you wanted to keep on going?
It sucked. I called Dana like the next morning and told him I wanted a rematch. You know, but it's how, this is a combat sport. In any sport, you get injuries. But I mean, the longer you do this thing, you're bound to get you know, some type of injury. And you know, I'm thankful that it happened, you know, 12 years into my career instead of, you know, early on. I had a great surgeon, you know, great physical therapy. You know, I'm going to be back, and hopefully I'll be getting that rematch against Woodley, and we'll be able to settle the score.
Carlos, I noticed you're wearing, how are you? I noticed you're wearing a Thrillin' Manila shirt. You were in Manila recently, and I understand there was a very big turnout. People love you there, and they just announced a card in Manila. Is this your little, you know, subtle note to say you want to fight on that card?
No, I just thought it matched my outfit, man.
You were very popular there, right?
Yeah, you know, there was great turnout at our event. We had, you know, the people were awesome. I don't know about fighting there. If they asked me to, I guess that's close enough to when I'm trying to come back. I would entertain the idea. I'd like to fight closer to home. I'm trying to get on my card here in Vegas. I know you just showed up. I don't know where you've been. But I'm trying to fight I'm trying to get on the card May 23rd here. If that comes up, if there's an opponent, we'll see.
You talked about the sort of logjam of talent at the top of the division. Do you remember there being a time in the welterweight division where there was this sort of depth of high-end talent?
No, I don't think so. I mean, everybody looks so good right now. So no, I really can't remember a time that it was like this.
You have a lot of really passionate fans. I saw an interview with you once where the guy doing the interview, he was almost blushing because he was, I don't know, it was almost like a Mac or something. What's it like for you to have so many fans that really see you in such a high light?